It's that time of year again. In December. That's right. Tables, ladders, chairs.
Oh my.
So, tables, ladders, and chairs. One of the more entertaining match types.
If there is that tape on the pay-per-view, how I see it, there should be at least one of every match type. One table match, one ladder match, one chair match, and then at least one full-on TLC match completely.
Yeah, but we have two of them this year. One that makes no sense, but we'll get to that soon enough. So tables, ladders, and chairs. It's usually the time they put this pay-per-view in. As I said, these are some of the most entertaining matches, especially anyone with the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys. Those were the classics, but when it comes to the pay-per-view itself, it's usually a hit and miss every year. I think last year was, for the most part, very good. This one, however, here's what's weird about this, right? It's a card that you really don't even think about, but then when you go onto Wikipedia and look at it, you realize one thing.
What the fuck?
It's absolute, yes, that it's not really that good of a card.
And throwback to last year where we had Buddy Murphy versus Cedric for the Cruiserweight Championship. We had Elias and Bobby Lashley in the ladder match. The Fabulous Truth versus Mahalisha in the Mixed Match Challenge Finals. The Bar, New Day, and Usos. Strowman versus Corbin. Natalya versus Ruby in that horrible storyline match. Finn Balor versus Drew. Mysterio versus Orton. Ronda versus Nia for the Raw Women's Championship. That's a yikes. Daniel versus AJ. Ambrose versus Rollins. And Asuka versus Charlotte versus Becky.
That sounds like a much better card than what we have this year by a long shot.
Well, just remember, last year, did we have a ladder match? Yes. Elias versus Bobby Lashley. Do we have a chairs match? Yes. Rey Mysterio versus Randy. And did we have a tables match? Yes. Natalya versus Ruby. And did we have a TLC match? Yes, we had two. And we only have as of right now, recording this on Thursday afternoon, we have two TLC matches and a tables match.
And the rest are normal matches.
Singles.
So, yeah.
Singles or tag team matches for basic shit.
That's probably why it feels much blander this time around than last year's, because not only was last year's a general good card, was a general good show, but they didn't have one of every match, like Ryan said, but we only had basically only 3 extreme matches, and everything is just
as of right
basic.
Now.
Well, actually, 1, 2, 3.
And last time in our WWE prediction video, we had Survivor Series. And the results of that, somehow, and thank God, Charles actually lost.
Yeah, I didn't keep up with the scores for us, but I'm pretty sure I did lost that one.
You did, I kept track. Me and Crazy actually tied for that one. Final score for that, I believe, was 4-4-3 or 5-5-4. Something like that. Charles lost by 1 point.
Oh well, all good streaks must come.
It'll be on the screen right now what the final score was. But the year's score, I have no fucking idea at this point. We stopped keeping track after Mania, pretty much.
Yeah.
But since there's nothing announced for pre-shows right now, we're going to count everything for points right now. Just keep it interesting.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they'll shoehorn at least one match.
They're going to shoehorn at least 3 more in.
Yeah.
For 2020, we will have a completely new scoring system, which I'll run by Charles later. But let's kick it off. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a tables, ladders, chair match.
Now this one is what I was talking about that made no sense because there's no title or any sort of prize being suspended on top of there. So what I'm going to guess is that it's basically using tables, ladders, and chairs, but it's actually going to be solved by a pinfall or a submission, which is kind of boring for a TLC to end. That's probably one reason why it's so bland to say, because this makes no sense, and that's how they're gonna go, then it's so boring. But anyways, and you know what, that's basically just like another hardcore match, basically. You know, tables, ladders, and chairs, that's pretty much what's mostly been used in these hardcore matches in WWE, so, yeah. So anyways,
I mean, last year in the ladder match, they had a guitar hung above the ring. Even minor shit like that is interesting and adds a little bit of flair to the game.
Yeah, I guess. But anyways, when it comes to this match, let's see. Roman Reigns is basically Roman Reigns. It's kind of like having a match with John Cena. You might as well bet that guy to win. But with King Corbin, they've been pushing him a lot. Well, they've been pushing him for about the past year now. And when he became King Corbin, well, he's basically just been pushed as much as ever. And I'll admit, he has been slightly better as a heel when he came King Corbin, a lot more tolerable. I guess they just needed the right gimmick for him. But he always seems to lose when it matters, apparently, and except for staying in the ring, of course. So I'm just gonna play it safe, and just because, you know, he's still like not as big as it was a couple years ago. Like you know, if you watch WWE back then between like 2014 all the way to like 2017-ish, Roman Reigns was the top face of the company at the time, and that has died down. He's actually become more of a mid-card guy these days, and very rarely does he main event a show. So, but that doesn't mean they keep making him win his matches. So, I rambled on long enough. My pick is Roman Reigns for this match.
How you see this? I've heard rumors and speculations about this match. And at a house show on, I believe it's on Boxing Day, which is December 26th, if you didn't know that, for the SmackDown house show, they're advertising Roman Reigns versus King Corbin with Drake Maverick in a TLC match.
What the hell? What's in the house show you were talking about?
I forget where it is. It's on Boxing Day for SmackDown. Apparently, Drake Maverick is being advertised on King Corbin's side. I think they're gonna start building to this for some fucking reason. Because that we still get one more SmackDown before that on the 20th. I think Maverick's gonna fuck Reigns over, and I'm gonna say it's gonna go to Corbin with a screwy finish again. I'm going to say Corbin just because I don't fucking like this pay-per-view needs something shocking to happen. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be Corbin just because of Drake coming in somehow.
I mean, yeah, I guess he can screw the match and help Corbin win Reigns. I'm not sure even why he would be interested in that, but okay.
Yeah, he's too busy. He's gonna take a break from pursuing Batista from Dana Brooke. Well, speaking of Batista and Dana Brooke, apparently there's plans for Batista to return at around Rumble time and build a feud with Elias. So we'll have Elias and Batista at Mania. Winner gets to marry Dana Brooke. And apparently this Dana Brooke Batista thing is actually, from what was told, it is actually storyline, not real life. This is pure storyline apparently.
I don't know what to believe is storyline and what's reality anymore.
I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna go from what I've been told. I'm gonna give it to Corbin though for this match.
Okay.
Just because. Next up we have the New Day, i.e. Kingston and Big E, versus the Revival, Dotson and Wilder for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Another Revival title opportunity.
This would have definitely been better as the table, ladders, and chairs match. Like, Reigns and Corbin should have just been a normal match. This should have been the TLC match instead. But
I would have said Roman and Corbin would be a ladders match. You can put Corbin's scepter above the ring, attach that to the thing.
Oh, that could have been a ladder match too. But anyways, this definitely should have been a tables,
something match.
But match, yeah. So anyways, the Revival have been pushed, I think they've been pushed for at least the past half a year now, if I'm correct. I think I'm wrong, but they have been pushed. That even when they were not holding titles, they were being pushed, so I'm kind of happy about it. I always liked the Revival, ever since the NXT days, so this makes me happy. But the New Day, it's kind of, they're the top tag team where if they're in it, you can more than likely bet they'll win, but they have been holding back on them winning. So I think this is going to be a close tag team match, but I think ultimately the New Day is going to retain their titles because they're still up on the high of Xavier Woods' injury, so I think they might want to save it for sometime later, hold on for a little while. So I'm giving it to the New Day because they still are pretty much on, you know, trying to do this for Xavier, who's still injured. That's so fresh in their memories, and they still want it. So I'm giving this to the New Day.
How I see this one is Revival has made it known they're unhappy with their current situation in WWE. And they did not renew contracts this year, even though they were nice, juicy contracts, $550,000 each a year for like 5 years. And their contracts expire around April, mid of April. And Charles, what happens every April?
Are you talking about WrestleMania?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was clueless because
Revival's contracts are over after Mania. I'm going to give this to the Revival. Just send them on one last hurrah. And just have them drop the titles at Mania to end their WWE career until they go to AEW.
Well, I guess to do something just so they can try to stay, you know, try to win them over. That's happening.
Try to get them like, hey, we'll give you the title for a little while if you just stick with us for a bit longer.
Even though they've won the title plenty of times, but okay.
True. I'm saying Revival for this, even though I'm like 95% sure it's going to be New Day.
Okay, so I got New Day. And
I have Revival.
You have Revival. Okay.
Next up, we have Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt versus The Miz.
And may I say, that's BS. I highly doubt he's gonna come as the Firefly Funhouse, Mr. Rogers, Blues Clues hybrid Bray Wyatt. It's gonna be a heist for him to come back as the Fiend.
No, people are happy that's just normal Bray Wyatt. And why is that? No fucking red light.
So I'm like the only one that actually likes the red light, I guess.
Yeah, I hate it. Seth was it not? It wasn't Seth, or was it Bryan? Seth or Daniel Bryan didn't. No, it was Seth. He did not know that the red light was gonna stay on the entire match. He did not know it was going to stay on the entire match, and he had to work through it. He was annoyed.
Yeah, I would have been annoyed too if I wasn't told ahead of time something like a big flashing light's gonna be all over me on the ring.
But for this match, I can see them not getting Bray Wyatt damaged yet. This non-title opportunity makes me feel like they're gonna go with The Miz for this.
I think Wyatt is not going to lose the title. I think the next time it will possibly happen is at SummerSlam next year. And what I think could be something interesting to happen with the match, if they are going to keep the normal Bray Wyatt, well, not normal, you know, he's still going to be in the sweater vest and all that, you know what I mean, but still, like, he's going to be that Bray Wyatt, and then, like, in the middle of the match, the Titantron will show the Fiend, you know, it's pretty cool, but the Fiend, slowly inching up to the Miz's house with his family, like, he hinted of doing this past SmackDown. We were going on Thursday, this past SmackDown. And I'm like, I think that'd be kind of cool actually if they do something like that. The Miz will panic, they know what we'll do, and Bray Wyatt will sweep it under him in the last second and win that match. So I think Bray Wyatt will win, but the Fiend will be on the Titantron doing something to threaten Miz's family. Like almost like they're trying to really sell these as two different people as they are in two different places and whatnot. So
who do you have for the match?
I got Wyatt.
I'm also going to go with Wyatt for this one, just because I feel like this is going to be like Mrs. Swan Song per se. And this will give him some time off to spend with his second child, I believe. They just had, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, they just had their second child, yeah.
So this might be a way to get the Miz off TV for a little bit, just so we can spend time with Maurice and his second born.
Alright.
I'm going to say break for this one, obviously. Next up, we have Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy.
Which I believe would actually be a good match.
I'm going to say it's going to be the match of the night, honestly, at this rate.
Aleister Black is a good martial artist kind of wrestler, while Buddy Murphy, I think he's more of the powerhouse type, especially for his size. And I think these two can work very well in a match together with their styles clash. But I think ultimately, since I think they're more high on him than the other, I'm going to give this one to Aleister Black. He might not wrestle that much, but for the time that he is wrestling, I think they'll try to keep him undefeated. Well, he's not undefeated in the main roster anymore, but you know what I mean. Try to make him win on a winning streak, despite barely ever wrestling. So, I'm giving it to Black for this one.
I'm also going to give it to Black, for the reasons Charles said, pretty much.
Yeah, they're going to keep him definitely on a winning streak. Like, Buddy Murphy, it seems they like him, but they seem to be on a much higher high on Aleister.
Yeah. Next up, the Kabuki Warriors versus Becky and Charlotte. In a TLC match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And let me go on a rant here for a second.
Go ahead.
How I imagine this from Vince's mind. Well, we need a challenger for the women's titles. Well, I want Becky and Charlotte. But I said Becky and Charlotte. Vince, you have legitimate female tag teams on your roster. Let me think. Iconics. Mandy and Sonya. Vanessa and Aaliyah in NXT. You have tag teams. Stop throwing these mixed together feud people. Because weren't Becky and Charlotte just going at each other at Mania?
And not only that, but it just seems like they're so shoehorned in just so they can be in a match on this show. Especially Charlotte, definitely.
Even Sasha and Bayley are best friends again.
Yeah, they could have also been in this match. That would have actually been a pretty more interesting match than this one. But anyways.
Like, fuck. You have actual tag teams. We don't want to see random ass thrown together.
It's like, Becky is the Raw Women's Champion. So she could have had like a match all by herself on this pay-per-view. But
yes, that also reminds me. Why hasn't Becky defended her fucking title in ages?
Like, when was the last time that she actually defended on pay-per-view?
Hell in a Cell, I believe.
So that's October, so that's almost 2 months by now.
Yep, because November was Survivor Series, and Starrcade, she was in the same match, pretty much, to build up to this one. Make Becky defend her title, like, she's going on this huge rant, and she was so publicized about, I'm the longest reigning women's Raw Women's Champion. Well, it's because you never fucking defended your title.
Hasn't defended in quite a while, yes, and it's also just some weird way to put Charlotte in this match as well, because I think if it wasn't for this tag team match, Charlotte obviously wouldn't even be a part of this pay-per-view. Anyways,
yeah.
If I were to guess, I don't think Becky and Charlotte are going to win. I think this is going to be a fill-in match for what they'll eventually do at WrestleMania, because Road to WrestleMania is going to start soon. So I'm going to give this to the Kabuki Warriors to retain.
My guts tell me Kabuki Warriors, but logically speaking, it's probably going to be Becky and Charlotte. Just get another title on Becky and Charlotte. But for this one, I'm going to go with my gut and go with Kabuki Warriors.
Okay.
Next up, Rusev versus Bobby Lashley in a tables match.
Okay, the storyline, I think our opinions on the storyline is just the same as everyone else's, so there's no need to explain.
How I see it is, for the storyline, is people are bitching about how it's like the worst storyline they've ever done. Yet these are the same people watching it on Raw, watching the YouTube highlights of it, and you're pretty much they're causing it to still be popular. If they weren't building to it, and once they drop it, they would realize the numbers are down and no one likes this. People are enjoying it based on viewing. It's usually in the top 10 trending on YouTube every Monday night.
I just knew that it's a thing, and I don't even watch the YouTube videos of it. All I know is just
stupid. It's hysterical. But for this match, I'm gonna give it to Bobby Lashley for this one. This is not over. This is so not over yet. They're gonna run this a while.
To give some credit, it did get slightly better when Rusev finally manned up and started lashing out on Lashley every week, ignoring the restraining orders. I do kind of like that part, but everything, because it shows Rusev to be a badass. You know, whenever they feel like doing it, you know.
The only best part about it is he's bringing it back.
Oh yeah, Rusev Day. I want Rusev to win this though. Hopefully, you know, he'll actually win because he's becoming a badass again, which I like, and hopefully he'll stay that way for a while. But it's not gonna be over. I'm gonna have to agree with Ryan. I think it's gonna be Bobby Lashley who will ultimately win this match. Well, you know, I hope we could see Lana get through the table at least once. Like, I like to imagine he'll be trying to push Rusev off the off the apron onto the table, but then he'll accidentally hit Lana instead, and Lana will fall through the table or something like that. But at least that would make it entertaining in my opinion. But yeah, other than that, I do think Lashley is going to ultimately win this match.
Yeah, and finally, the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar versus To Be Determined. So this is going to do it. Is we're going to make one prediction for who the challengers is going to be, and who wins. So 2 points for grabs in this match. So Charles, who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I think since, you know, these guys are popular and they want a bit of hype for them, I think they want to start building them up. I'm going to think the mystery tag team is going to be the Street Profits. That's my gut feeling. Okay, legit, on this past Monday night on Raw, where the Street Profits fought against the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team Champions, I legit thought that the Street Profits were going to win on that show, because, you know, they would just happen for no reason. These guys are popular, so I thought, holy crap, I think the Street Profit is going to become our new Raw Tag Team Champions that night, but apparently I'm wrong. But then, who knows, they might actually been wanting to save it for this show. So I think the mystery opponents are going to be the Street Profits, and I'm going to go gutsy, and I think they are legit going to win this match.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, my theory goes to a little pay-per-view called Crown Jewel. And if you go to the results for it, the OC defeated the Viking Raiders, who were the Raw Tag Team Champions at the time.
I think I know where this is going.
I'm going to say OC, even though that's not what I want to say. My main idea was, AOP just returned. Could be AOP. But knowing WWE, it's going to be some shitty thrown together tag team last minute. I'm going to say the OC. And I think, like Charles, we're going to have new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Okay, so even if it doesn't turn out to be either of our guys, if the mystery partners win, I guess we both get a point for that.
Yeah, so how this is going to work is, since Charles and I both think the challengers are going to take the titles, if either team wins, so let's say if it's Viking Raiders versus OC for actually, I would get the point for the OC. But if the OC does win the titles, I get both points, but Charles will get the other point for saying new champs, per se. We're going to keep it fair.
Yeah, the Viking Raiders have been, they haven't been pushed to the back burner, which I was afraid they were going to do, but luckily they have come a long way as the Viking experience. And I think it's about time they lose their titles and, try to still show the Ultimate Tag Team. It's another team's to hold those titles, so I think whoever it's going to be, whether it's my choice, the Street Profits, or Ryan's choice, the OC, or any other tag team that's not of those guys, I think the new champs are going to be the Viking Raiders, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh no,
sure.
I mean the challengers.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Challengers are gonna. There's going to be at least one title change. There's going to be a title change, and it's going to be the Raw Tag belts. Even though I predict both tag belts are switching over. But speaking of switching over, the releases this past week was shocking. Did the Ascension get released?
The Ascension was not all that surprising to me. In fact, I forgot about those guys until they released. So glad they're probably going to go to someplace better. That would treat them
Sin
better.
Cara and Luke Harper.
I'm pretty sure Luke Harper is going to go to AEW. I'm sure for that. Sin Cara, I don't even know where that guy's going to go. And neither for the Ascension, maybe Impact, probably. But that's all I can think about for them.
Yeah. Anyways, those are our predictions for TLC. Very lackluster, to be honest.
Very lackluster card, especially compared to last year's cards. And
we'll be back.
It's going to be set.
We'll be back for Rumble when WWE posts pretty much the entire fucking entry list. Because throwback to last year where I was very pissed off about this.
Yeah, it was about 23 out of the 30 people got introduced for the men's.
And 18 or something like for the women's.
Yeah, somewhere close to that.
WWE, if you're listening to this for some fucking reason, please do not spoil half the fucking entries. Please don't. Like, you're teasing Cesaro and Liv Morgan to come back. Don't say they're going to return in the Rumble. Surprise us with those. Those are huge pops. Anyways, take care, guys. My links will be in the description. So will Charles's be. Stay tuned for Royal Rumble 2020.